there's some guys that we're going through that process. We're talking to, basically going through the interview process. I actually started yesterday afternoon after I had that meeting with the players, started talking to coaches about the possibility of retaining guys. And then obviously there's some guys that I plan on bringing in, and that's just part of the business.
Coach A, Solomon Quinto, Birmingham Times. We've heard what appealed to Miles for you. What was it about Miles that made you decide to put your hat in the ring?
Well, first off, I was a college coach for 9 years before I went on from there. But actually, during that time, I was an assistant coach, and I always saw myself as a soldier, basically in a sense, meaning whatever the head coach or whoever that coach was above me, whatever they needed done, I was ready and willing to do that. But over time, as you spend time around coaches like I have, such as Pat Sullivan, Gene Stallings, some of the coaches that I played for in the NFL, you start taking things from those guys, and it just starts to hit you that one day I think I want to be a head coach. Because you see that the head coach to myself has the biggest impact on the entire team. As a position coach, I felt like I didn't have as big of an impact as I wanted to have. So that's what led me to wanting to be a college head coach. And the opportunity here at Miles, when it presented itself, I reached out, applied, and the rest is history.
What's your message to the recruits that are out there that are currently searching for an opportunity?
Well, that's a great question. There are a lot of recruits out there still waiting. High school student athletes. There are a number of junior college student athletes, a number of athletes that are in the transfer portal. So my message to those guys is, you can come to Miles, and everything that you want to achieve, you can achieve it here. And some people say, well, how can they achieve it here? Well, number one, the proof's in the pudding. Like I said, I've got a nephew that graduated from here. I've got 2 sisters that graduated from Miles. They're all doing really well right now in life on that side of it. And then from the athletic side, we're going to assemble a coaching staff here that I feel like I can take them anywhere in the country, and we're going to be able to compete. So if you come to Miles, you're going to get the best of both worlds, the academic side and the athletic side.
Your experience as an athletic director, would that have any impact on other sports in the athletic department of Miles? Do you think you can contribute to, after season, contribute to other sports and being an athletic director, understand?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm glad that we've got Mr. Fred Watson, Mr. Fred Watson here. He's got college experience as a college athletic director before Miles College, and for myself, I'm just excited about the opportunity to coach football. And if that explains some things to you, because he's got a lot on his plate, and I'll have a lot on mine, so I just want to coach football. But at the same time, I do want to become a part of the Miles College community. So in the off season, we'll have players doing community service, things like that. Those are some things we did on the high school level. I want to get involved in this community here in Fairfield. I was actually born at Lord Nolan Hospital right here in Fairfield, so I'm no stranger to the areas. So I do want to get involved, but I'll let Coach Watson handle all the AD stuff.
This is a question for both of you. Miles College, as has been noted, has had major success across the board. Football, obviously, but in other sports as well. Talk to me about the challenge of stepping into some huge shoes and trying to maintain momentum that's been established to this point.
Well, that's something I talked to the team about. I talked to the team about that. First off, I commended Coach Ruffin and his staff for the excellence in football that they had while he was here. But like I told the team, I said, if Coach Ruffin was still here, the things that you do as a head football coach after the season, you've got to evaluate your staff first. You evaluate your team. You evaluate what you did offensively and defensively, special teams. Those are things that he would have done. Those are the same things that myself and my staff will do. So really all you can do is come in and do the best job that you can do preparing the team for the next season. And so I never really worry about, I'm really my worst critic, so I don't really worry about if we attain a certain level, but I do feel like if we do things the right way, we'll have success. And sometimes that success isn't a conference championship, but you do know when you've got the players to buy in and they're trusting you and they're disciplined, to me, you're having success.
I'll get to your response to that question in a second, but another thing brought to mind. Talk to me a little bit about having the person who you're replacing as a rival in your league.
Well, you know, it's funny. Football and coaching, not just football, but in coaching, it's a fraternity with coaches. Coach Watson, he knows a bunch of coaches. We've had time to talk about different people that he knows in coaching, and I've had time to talk about guys. And actually, I actually spoke with Coach Ruffin. We've known each other for years. And bottom line was, we said one Saturday out of the year, we won't be friends.
So to answer your question, and thank you for your question, no shoes have ever been bigger for me to fill than that of my father. So the skills and the traits that he instilled in me as a young man, as being a good father, being a good husband, being a servant leader, is the same skills and traits I've used to be successful as a college basketball coach, and the same skills and traits I use to be a successful athletic director.
Coach Shea, Roy Thomas, Moscow Blues Club. I know you mentioned about your staff. I want to get back to that. Because of the Dion effect, are we expecting any big names? Coaches you might bring on board?
He's the big name.
All of that.
Well, and you said your name again was?
Roy Thomas, Moscow Blues Club.
Mr. Thomas, it's a pleasure to meet you, Miles College Booster Club. Glad to have you here. As far as the coaching staff, we're going to wait until we go through the process of interviewing the coaches that are here on staff and assembling the complete staff, and we'll put some names out there then. As far as big names, right now I don't have any Deion Sanders guys coming in.
Where do you find your motivation to put in so many hours of work for this job?
Well, I've always thought about that. I think about the student athletes. I've been in their shoes. I've gone through what they go through, the amount of time they invest in being a student athlete. You know, when normal students are done with class and, you know, going back to their dorm rooms or whatever, they're over there with guys like myself, and I'm fussing and hollering at them. I'm getting on them. I'm pushing them, trying to get the most out of them. And those are things that normal students don't go through. And I just have a tremendous respect for our young student athletes. And the amount of time that I put in, that's something that you put that time in because you want to give them the best, because you want them to give you the best. So I try to give them the best that I have, and that's why I talked about earlier about my family and my wife supporting me, understanding the amount of time during the football season that I spend with those student athletes, which is actually more time than I spend with my family during football season. But when a young man calls you 5 or 10 years later and he tells you, Coach, I got married and we had our first child, and you know my wife and I are doing really well, and Coach, I just want to thank you for pushing me and staying on me, getting me up at 5:30 because I didn't go to class, giving me that discipline that I needed to be successful after football. Those are things that make it well worth it. And my wife, she can attest to that because she's actually gotten some of those calls telling her thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
to get up the stuff up there of recruiting, do you prefer to go junior college route at this point, transfer a quarter, and transfer a quarter at this route? I'll start from the high school level. Which do you prefer to build up?
Well, we actually, my plan is to attack all three. Obviously, I've been a high school coach here in the state, and I've recruited the state of Alabama as a college coach, so I've got many connections with high school coaches. I've had a lot of them reaching out to me about players, and actually, because of the transfer portal, there's some high school student athletes that are getting looked over in the recruiting process. And so I still feel like there are going to be some really good high school players for us to get here at Miles College, but at the same time, if you've got an opportunity, some of those transfer portal kids that actually might have left the Birmingham area to go other places, they want to come home and they're good players, we'll look at those guys also, and we'll have some coaches on the coaching staff that have connections in the junior colleges, and those guys, they'll bring some guys to the table also. So we're going to attack all three, starting with high school student athletes, then the transfer portal kids, and then junior college. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, do you have a relationship with Nick Saban, and if so, would you seek counseling from him?
Well, I've actually had the privilege, I've had the honor of being around Coach Saban somewhat at camps in the summertime, things like that. When he first got to Alabama, was able to be on a panel of former student athletes that had communications with him. But I think he's a busy man, so I don't know how much counsel I'll be able to get.
Geraldine Agee, Vice President of Academic Affairs. I was just wondering, what types of things could the faculty and staff here at Miles College do to be supportive of you in your new role? And the same for our athletic director.
Well, I'll let A.D. Watson.
Well, just to continue to support. You know, like I said, we intend to build strategic alliances across campus. Athletics, under my leadership, I want to make sure we're an intricate part of the institution and not a separate entity. So just the same support as we move forward. But the staff, the faculty have done a great job supporting athletics, and I hope that continues.
I think that answers.